Hey guys, it's Dr. Beauty. Have you ever found yourself just getting so angry because the people around you are not saying the right things? What I mean, for example, is let's say you had a rough day at work and you come home to your significant other or family or friends and you vent and they just can't say the right thing. And you get mad and either you take one of many defense mechanisms. You could be passive aggressive. You could, throw your anger out onto them and not really tell them what's going on. Well, I find that a lot of times when we have this anger as to why people can't tell us what we need to hear is because we've actually given them that power over our emotions. And we actually feel subconsciously that we're out of control of our emotions. And so we need that reinforcement or that affirmation from people who aren't ourselves. And that's something that can be very dangerous because essentially you're putting your happiness and your well being, your peace of mind in the hands of someone who may not even understand what direction you're trying to go in life or what the importance of the situation that you're going through means to you. So let's talk about why we feel this way. First of all, just take yourself back in memory lane and try to figure out or remember a situation where you had been going through an instance where you felt like you just lost control. So, I don't know if any of you have heard of a motivational speaker named Joel Osteen, but he was just talking about this a few weeks back about how even with spouses, friends, whoever, when you're in a relationship with someone or in a friendship with someone, it's really not their job to make you happy. And that's why a lot of people have problems because they come back from work, they come back from a difficult situation, they're going through difficulties in their life, and they're expecting that person who is their significant other or is their best friend to have the right words to say and to make things all better. And you really can't depend on other people to do that for you in your life because sometimes you're going to find yourself alone. And if you have already given that power to external sources, what will you do when you're by yourself? We're not always privileged to be around people who can support us, who can give us encouraging words. And another thing that you have to think about is the people around us aren't always in the position or in the same state of mind to give us that encouragement. Sometimes they may not even have that within themselves. So you have to kind of find the strength within to encourage yourself to actually explore and understand your emotions, because the more control you have over your emotions and the more regulated your spending of emotional energy is, the happier you'll be, the less stressed you'll be, and you'll have this overall sense of balance in your life. Another situation I could think of is actually going through a situation where somebody who is close to you actually makes you mad. That could be a boyfriend, girlfriend, close friend, even parents, spouses, siblings who could have wronged you in any way. And either they don't think that they're wrong, or they don't know what they did, or you can't really vocalize why what they said or did is making you feel down. So you, I guess, being conditioned by how society works, you're expecting an apology from them. You're expecting them to understand exactly how you're feeling. And sometimes, I don't know if this has happened with you, but I've had situations where someone has said sorry to me, and either I didn't feel better, so I accused them of not being sincere in their apology, or I it just didn't resolve the feelings that I was having inside. And other times, you don't get an apology, whether it's distance, whether it's that person's refusal to accept being wrong, you just don't get that apology. And what do you do in those cases? Well, it isn't a problem unless you've given that person the strength and the power over your emotions. Because think about it, you have told yourself that you need an apology from this person to be able to move forward, to be able to get on with life. And until that happens, you can't move on. Your mind is going to be constantly stuck on that fact that, yeah, this person has not apologized to me. And you're just going to have this negativity and this anger and passive aggression building up inside until you get that. And sometimes you may never get that. Some things happen and you don't get that apology. So, what do you do in those cases? Well, for me, I kind of ask myself, okay, why do I need an apology from this person? What am I actually feeling? What should that person be sorry for? I don't know if that concept is new or if it sounds like BS, but it actually works. Because think about it, you've forgiven them, you have the upper hand. You're not on the waiting end. You're not waiting for that person to approach you and apologize to you. You've made a conscious, mature decision in your own power and your own right as a human being with feelings to let it go, to forgive them, to wish them well. You don't have to be best friends with them. You don't have to keep in communication with them, but you've made up your mind to let the situation go and move forward and realize that you are spending so much emotional energy on this situation by waiting, hoping, wishing for that apology that may never come or that may not need to come from that person. Because when you need that apology to come from that person, guess what? You're giving them power over your emotions. So that's how I look at those situations. And then once you've decided that, okay, I'm going to give myself the power to forgive this person, even though they haven't acknowledged that they're wrong or they haven't said sorry, how do I go about exploring why I feel the way I feel or what I feel? This society is so fast paced. Everything is just, you know, type a few words in the text or, even just emojis. And, that's that. But I think due to the technological advancements that we've had, we just don't really know how to do any introspection anymore and just look within and find out how we're feeling. And that's why we get frustrated because we're running around working, texting, doing all these things, and we don't even have time to just sit down and ask ourselves, how am I doing? How am I really doing? Not just fine, but how am I doing in life in general? How am I doing on the inside? How do I feel? So for me, what works is, just taking a pen and paper, or if you need to use your laptop and type on a Word document, you know, just type out or write out, what are you feeling? You're in a certain state of mind. The way somebody says something can be perceived a different way by you because of your state of mind. It may not be intended by that person, but that's just how you pick it up because you didn't want to hear that. And once I wrote everything out and understood what I was feeling and the fact that, okay, this person didn't mean to come off that way, then I wasn't so angry anymore. And I realized that I felt a lot freer mentally and emotionally. And I took charge of my emotions. I took some time to be myself, and sometimes you need to do that. I went up to my room and just, took some deep breaths in and out and then wrote this all out. So sometimes you just may need to do that. You need to get away from that person. You need to actually figure out how you're feeling, just take some space, and then get back in the game and smooth things out. At the end of the day, what makes it easier to conform to this process of emotional intelligence, I would say, is realizing that every day is not guaranteed for us. It's a blessing every single day. Things may not be going the way you want them to go 100%, but they're going because you're breathing and you're living. And not everyone got to wake up today and say that. So then, once you've considered all of that, you ask yourself, is it really worth it to hold on to this grudge that long? And you realize that it's not. Because think about it, when you're holding a grudge, it weighs you down. It just makes you feel like crap. You know, you can't be happy about anything. You can't take in the beauty of what's around you. You know, so just let go of grudges. It doesn't mean you have to be best friends with everyone, especially the people who have wronged you. But at least, you know, just tell yourself, okay, you know what? I'm not perfect. They're not perfect. I choose to empower myself and reaffirm who I am, what I believe in, and the fact that the things that I want to accomplish are bigger than this issue at the end of the day. And I'm not going to be passively upset about this. I'm not going to bear grudges about this because at the end of the day, I need all of that energy to focus on my goals. I need all that energy to focus on my ambitions in life. And once you take all that into consideration, it will be so much easier to forgive and forget. You know, a lot of times we want to hold on to things that don't really progress us in life, rather, they hold us down. So, you know, you be the judge of that. Ask yourself if this situation is worth holding on to, or if you should just let it go. So, I tend to err on the side of letting things go. Doesn't mean that you let people disrespect you in any way, but you talk about it and you understand how you're feeling, why you're feeling it, and what you're feeling. If you can put a name and description to how you're feeling and what you're feeling and why you're feeling it, and you understand yourself, then you'll be even more equipped to move forward in life and to accomplish greater things. So I hope that helps. It's not something that happens in one day. Trust me, I am probably, or I used to be, one of the most impatient people you could ever meet. But after having so much time to do some introspection and ask myself how to maximize my emotional intelligence and my energy and maintain balance in my life with all of these elements, I've found that I'm more at peace, I'm more at ease with everything. And yeah, it's just easier to accomplish the tasks that I need to do every day. So I hope that helps. Let me know what you thought of this video, what other content you would like to see on this channel. I'm working on making a few travel vlogs in the near future, so look out for that. And until then, deuces.